seems like
you had said
excited.
that. You had said that I think the last time you talked ball was with the Saints. You were talking to probably a couple 30-year-old linebackers.
Yeah.
Then you have to go next time you talk ball, and you're probably talking to 16, 17-year-olds trying to convince them why they should go to a school. Did you have to learn to fall in love with recruiting over the last year? And when you said that you wanted to see if you liked coaching, how much was that, like, do I want to be a coach? How much was that of the recruiting process?
Recruiting's definitely part of it.
Do you like it?
Yeah, you have to like it. I mean, you gotta love it. And recruiting is relationship building, and you're trying to figure out what's important to not only the kid, but what's important to the family. And you just have to be willing to be consistent and build those relationships. And if you're not willing to put in the work and the time to make phone calls, to consistent, like the only thing that I haven't done in recruiting, because I'm a GA technically, is be able to actually go on the road and see high school coaches. But as far as that, like, I met with all of our linebacker recruits as if I was the linebacker coach. So I would have a 30-minute meeting with them, and then I would take them to, the DC/LB coach, and then he'd go to free. Like, so I had recruiting presentations. I had ways of connecting with the family. I was responsible for phone calls. So you have to just be consistent in that respect, and really just you're building a friendship and you're getting to know people. And so the way that you always start to like people as you get to know any friend is you have to listen, and you have to ask questions, and you have to be authentic. If you're trying to kind of cut it all short and skip all that, people will find you out really quick.
I think it was like 14 years ago that a linebacker at Ohio State decided that after a national loss, he was coming back for his senior year. Probably could have went to the NFL. Sound familiar?
Yeah.
A guy in your room now who kind of did the same thing. Big stage, takes a loss, comes back for his senior year, could have went to the NFL. How excited are you to work with Tommy? Obviously Tommy and Steele together, but Tommy in general, there seems to be some similarities there. Does that excite you to be able to work with him?
It does. I'm excited to work with both of them. Just from everything you hear and that I observed today, being at really the first workout that I've been at, is the leadership, just the way they play the game. I've been watching some of the installs, and you see the way Tommy plays the game, the way Steele does. So I'm excited for the whole room. But yeah, there's a little bit of similarity there with Tommy, and I was just letting both those guys know, like, reach out with any questions you have. Don't hold anything back, and it'll take me maybe a little bit to kind of get to the point in the scheme where I can help them. But there will be some stuff instantly that I'll be able to help with running back alignments or tight end splits or things that the offense is trying to attack you, where I've been in their shoes, literally. And I know the issues and where we can get beat and how to protect ourselves in those situations. So I'm excited to work with those guys. But really, it's the whole group. And just really, you got to earn their trust first. And you got to prove that you care about them, and that's already started.
Building off the recruiting stuff a little bit, when Hartline first got officially hired as the receivers coach, part of that idea from a recruiting standpoint is, who better to show you how to be an Ohio State wide receiver than a dude who's done it and walked the path you want to walk?
Yeah.
I don't know if you thought about it that way, but eventually you want to be an assistant coach and continue to move up his ranks. Is there any part of you that looks at Hartline and goes, I can do that exact same thing for a linebacker at Ohio State?
Well, that's the goal. I mean, I'd be lying to you if that wasn't the goal. Ohio State's such a storied program and such a unique place that it should be wide receiver U, it should be LBU, D-line. You should have all of that. I truly believe that. Now, selfishly, being a linebacker, I believe that any defense stems from having alphas in the linebacker room. I feel like they have to push the whole defense forward. So yeah, that's the end goal. It's a lofty goal, but I mean, when you're at a place like Ohio State, you come here, and once you've lived it, you understand what the standards are. And so it takes a special young man to understand, like, the standard is to win every single game. And sometimes when you're playing teams that aren't up to your talent level, it's not just to win it, but win it impressively. Like, that's the standard of what being a Buckeye is, and that pressure isn't for everybody. So you have to find the right kids, the most talented kids, the kids that fit, want to be mentally and physically tough, and then try to get them to come here. But it's a lot more natural, obviously, when it's somewhere where you've played, and Ohio State to a degree sells itself. But when you have somebody who's been in it, walked through it, gone through the same stresses. Times change, all that change. Social media, I get all that. I'm not naive to all that. But it's still the same. It's the same stuff as a young man that what you're going through. So I can relate, to a lot of these young men, what they're going through, and I can help kids who haven't been here, that want to come up and visit, give them an absolute, honest perspective of what it's like.
And from just a talent standpoint, what you've gotten a chance to see from CJ, does he remind you of anybody? Just kind of your initial thoughts on a kid coming into his second year?
I mean, just a ton of talent, unbelievable movement skills, looks the part, and just really excited to get to know him and to continue to work with him, because you can see the talent there. I mean, it just pops on the field, and kind of the way he moves, and just watching him run today was impressive. So there's a lot of facets to playing LB, but when you looked at all the guys, and you're like, man, yeah, he's an impressive looking kid. So I'm excited to get to work once spring ball starts.
You're not able to go on the road recruiting, but you still have to navigate the NI.
Yeah.
How are you adjusting to that? How is this
Yeah.
different? I hate to compare one place to another, but it's different in ND to here. And
Yeah.
how do you do it?
I mean, really, you're pushing along those conversations really up the chain. That's what we did there at Notre Dame, and that's what here. I mean, it's only been a few days since I've been back, but it's one of those things where, like, as a grad assistant, I can't guarantee anything. So it's obviously a constantly evolving thing in college football right now, and you're always trying to figure out what's real, what's not. Does it even matter? There's a whole lot that goes on with it. And so all I know, when it comes to that, I don't really try to worry too much about the NIL aspect. I try to worry more about, do I have an honest enough relationship with this kid and his family to where he trusts me to develop him, and then if that's a factor in his decision, the power of Ohio State will come through.
I'm curious, just logistically. I don't know. Maybe you've answered this. Did you have a place in South Bend? Did you rent? I mean.
No, we sold the house here, moved there.
Wow.
Now we gotta do it all over again.
Okay, I didn't know.
Yeah. I'll drive back tonight because we're off tomorrow and Friday, so I'll go back tonight and see my family and enjoy the weekend with them, and then come back late Sunday night. It's like deja vu, doing it all. But I was doing it the other way. I was doing it the other way last year. So.
Do you want to live in the same area? Are you guys looking in a different area, or?
We're all over the place right now with it. Whether to rent for a few months, or to where more homes pop up. I would assume it'd be in the same area. We were out in Dublin, kind of the Dublin-Powell area, but inventory is limited at this time. So.
Okay. What was your first conversation with Tommy Eichenberg like, and what do you, as a guy who sort of filled that role that he's filling now, what was that connection like? Did he grunt or did he speak? Because Jim said that some of his first conversations were just in grunts.
Yeah, no, we first text communicated, and I asked him to put me in a group chat with all the guys, just to introduce myself to everybody and become available, and obviously get their numbers. But no, we've talked, just basically shared his excitement to learn from me as much as he can, and I just told him, look, I'm looking forward to getting to know each other and to putting that time in the film room and studying the game, and we'll just kind of see where this whole thing goes. But told him that I really respect him as a player from everything I know from afar, and the more you watch, the more you're just impressed. So I'm just excited to continue to dive into all the tape and kind of see maybe where I can help, and then heck, in the areas where he's strong, just continue to build on what he's already accomplished.
In how many words did he express his excitement?
Oh, I don't remember. Yeah, you're right. I mean, he's not the most long-winded, but even today he's like, hey, whenever you want to watch tape, let's get after it. So there's not much fluff, which could be a good thing.